Coming up, I've got an opportunity for kind of a special event for Norwalk. And so the invited robot is Disinformation. So we had to do a little bit of fixing from after the event down in Brazil. I got clobbered in an odd spot on the drum, and it sort of folded some of the aluminum over into where the sprocket was, and it bound up the chain. So this is post-machining here. I obviously cleaned up that part, but I actually brought it down a little bit, took off, 40 or 50 thousandths of material, and then brought this in. So here was the sprocket before mounted up, and you can see with the chain mounted, it was almost at the level of the drum. And so they've swapped that out now for a slightly smaller sprocket. Okay. So from a 30 tooth to a 28 tooth, so now that chain is going to be a little more protected. It's going to be further in. And as a side benefit to this, it's also going to spin the drum faster, so I'll have a little more energy. So when it's all said and done, I'm going to be near or exceeding the rated RPM on the bearings for the drum. So hopefully it doesn't pull itself apart while it's spinning. That's going to be upcoming December 5th through 7th, Norwalk. It's going to be a lot of fun. All of this can be streamed live. You can watch it nightly. And it should be a pretty good event because they're going to have basically the top people in the sport were invited for this special event. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be challenging. Norwalk has an interesting weight arrangement, unique. The rules are unique there, in that you can have an increase in the weight of your robot if it's a multi-bot. You have more than one robot going in. And I took advantage of that weight increase last time, but then I had to thin it down to be exactly 30 pounds to take it to Brazil because their rules are more classical. You can't go overweight. So now that I'm going back to Norwalk with this robot, I've got the opportunity to again use a little more weight as long as I take a multi-bot. And so Johnny, kid who helped me last time, brought a Beetle to throw in with it so that I could be a multi-bot. He's going to meet me there again. This should be good. I'm looking forward to it, but it also gives me the opportunity to add a few pieces of weight in a couple different spots. So one of the things I'm going to do, I'd used Lexan top before because it was very light and what I had weight for, but it's really, it broke. It's really not that strong. So I've got a fairly thin titanium top that I'm going to use. Obviously got to deburr it a little bit and paint it and whatnot. But the titanium should be stronger in how it's laid out and whatnot. And so I'm going to gain about half a pound with that. And then, so it was exactly 30 pounds. I can go up to 33 on this robot in the multi-bot arrangement. So one of the things I'm planning on doing is that titanium panel that's on the back, I'm going to replace that with a piece of 3/16 AR. Okay. And it's odd that on a combat robot I'm doing this mostly for weight. I'm going to add some weight on the back because this robot didn't have enough weight over the tires, and so it didn't drive as well as I would like. And I'm thinking a little bit of extra weight there on the back should help as far as getting traction goes. And obviously a thicker piece of armor is always helpful too. So I was 30 pounds exactly competing at Brazil. And I can go up to 33 at Norwalk. So there's my original top. Now, this would have been slightly bigger. There's a piece that broke off here, so it would have been slightly heavier than 7.8 ounces, but that's roughly what I'm taking off and then replacing it with 14.4. So let's say I'm gaining, 6.5, 7 ounces with that. And then this is 9 ounces, and I'm directly replacing that with 2 pounds, 12.4. So 2 pounds, 3.5 ounces, and 7 ounces. So 2 pounds, 10.5 ounces. I legitimately had 3 pounds to work with, and so I should still be fine. We should be able to make weight with the few changes that I'm making. So between those changes, we're going to increase the speed of the weapon. We're going to, have titanium armor on top to help protect everything. Big, thick piece of steel armor on the back to try to get a little better traction. It should perform better than it did before. And it performed well before. So I think, I'm not going to say we're going to go in there and we're going to dominate and win everything, but I think it should be more competitive, and we certainly stand a chance of going there and coming home with a win. So here we are basically upgraded and ready to go. So the titanium panels finished off and painted and whatnot. I think it looks reasonably okay. Finished up the mounting of the AR panel across the back. Made a few movements. I used to have the LED, the power LED was here mounted before. Instead, I've mounted it inside the robot, so it's a little more compact in the way it's set up. And another upgrade is we added some little forks on the side to help feed the other robots up into the drum and also kind of protect it from hits from the side. So didn't have a lot of weight for anything super thick, so it's just some fairly thin titanium, but at least there's something there to help direct traffic. And we did pretty good as far as weight goes. So combat ready weight. Okay, add the weight of the battery. We are 32 pounds, 32.5 pounds basically. So I had up to 33 to work with. I'm not going to do anything to try to take advantage of that last half a pound. I think that's probably going to be good. So now that we got it assembled, we got everything ready, I think we'll go ahead and throw a battery in it and spin it up. Okay. I was hoping it was going to drive a little better than that. Still kind of squirrely. Yeah, well, let's... See, now I'm spinning backwards again. Well, obviously that didn't work the way I wanted it to, so I guess we gotta pull it all apart and see if we can figure out what's wrong. We had some serious cogging issues with the motor, which I thought I had addressed, but apparently I had not. And so we're going to go through the programming sequence on the speed controller again. Let's see what it does here. There we go. I guess it drives pretty good. I'm all right with that. All right, well, let's see what happens here. Well, got that little bit of chain rub, but at least it spins good. So we had some components we ended up having to replace very last minute to get the robot working. But we had it in the driveway, spun up. Everything seems like it works really good. Wish I had a little more testing time, but it's Sunday and I gotta fly out tomorrow morning. So hopefully we got everything back together in a way that's going to work well, and we can put on a good show for this event. The Norwalk event is going to be live streamed on YouTube, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights. You can go to their website and check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a really good event, and hopefully we do really well. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast.